Across West Virginia, abuse and neglect cases have resulted in the removal of thousands of children from their family homes. Close to 7,000 have become foster children. The best chance many of these kids have is if a relative can take them in. In Ravenswood, Melissa Liston is raising her 12-year-old grandson and her 3-year-old granddaughter.
Money's tight sometimes, but you know what? Those kids come through that door and they laugh and it's worth it. That there is nothing like a 3-year-old's giggle, nothing, ever. Makes it worth it. Whatever you've done through your life to save for your time when your kids are grown, it's gone. That's what you use to raise your grandkids. You have no more savings, you have no more retirement. Because you've started a whole new family. And you don't regret it.
Liston's grandson goes to a therapist and needs extra help coping with trauma he experienced when he was living with his birth parents.
Sometimes they need the extra help. You can't expect, they're kids, they're not adults, and they've been through fire. You gotta treat them with gloves, not harsh treatment. It don't work. They're babies. And I'm sorry.
Her grandson faced neglect and abuse when his father, Liston's son, struggled with drug addiction. Liston says she blames herself for not knowing that her own son was addicted to drugs.
Just keep them close. Check on them. Don't make excuses. I made those excuses. Don't do that. Because they're adults. They still need you.
Breaking that cycle of addiction takes love and a lot of parenting, Liston says. She worries about the other children out there in need of foster homes who don't have someone available to take them in.
This is where kids end up into drugs, into jail, because no one cares. No one wants to step up and take responsibility. This time of the year, are they cold? Are they hungry? I can't stand the thought of a kid. I can't stand the thought of anybody, adult or child, being hungry or cold. I just can't. It's not in me. But kids pull at my heartstrings more than anything.
Liston is what's known as a kinship foster parent. Research suggests children in kinship homes have better behavioral and mental health outcomes than children who are placed with a stranger. That's why child and protective service workers try to find a kinship home for children first. But if they can't find a relative, they turn to a foster care agency.
Yeah. Okay.
Charlotte Barnett is a social worker with the Children's Home Society. When a CPS worker calls looking for a foster family, she's often the one who takes the call, day or night.
How old is he? Alrighty. You have his birthday? Alright. Does he have any meds or behaviors? Okay.
On many days, there are more children in need of homes than families who are available to take them.
I'm just going to have to send this one out statewide.
In this case, the child may have to relocate to a new community in a totally different part of the state. Or if no family is found, the child may end up staying temporarily in a shelter or in a state office on a cot or a blow-up mattress. Those who are placed in homes often arrive abruptly in the middle of the night, most of their possessions stuffed inside a garbage bag. Kelly Crow and her husband have been foster parents for 3 years.
Quality foster homes are needed. You hear horror stories of bad foster homes, and I just thought if we could help somebody, we can't help everybody, but if we could help somebody, then it would probably be worth it. So we just decided to open our home.
She and her husband, Darren, had only been married a year when they decided to become foster parents. Their first foster children were 2 5-year-old twins.
It was a struggle for us to even get out the door sometimes. And our associate pastor one evening, he called and asked, I think it was the second night we had him, he says, is there anything I can get you or do for you? And I was like, we actually need some milk. So he went to Kroger and got us a couple gallons of milk. And even though that seems like such a small thing, it was a big thing to us at the time, because we couldn't get out of the house. We were, never been parents before, and now all of a sudden we're parents to 2 5-year-olds, and we're trying to figure it out.
Offering to bring by some groceries or a home-cooked meal are small gestures, but it's something almost anyone can do to support foster families. Darren and Kelly also say they wish there was more support from social workers and training in dealing with difficult behaviors.
One thing I think I would change, though, is just like more information when you go into a placement. I think that's, and I don't think that's anyone's fault in particular, but still a lot of times it would be helpful to know, have maybe some more background information when you take on a child to know exactly what you're dealing with and what they've experienced. That way you know how to better care for them and deal with them on a day-to-day basis.
Some foster parents say they would like more support from fellow foster families. Last December, in an interim session of the legislature, Marissa Sanders, who runs an advocacy group for foster parents, presented the findings of a survey her group helped collect from 1,000 foster parents.
The main thing that people said about support in terms of who it was coming from was that they really, really wanted more access to peer support from other foster, adoptive, and kinship families. So while training was helpful and while services from social workers was useful and important for them, they really wanted more time to build relationships with other foster families, to connect with other foster, kinship, and adoptive families, and to really be able to talk about their own experiences with people who are living similar things.
Sanders says many of the foster parents across the state feel invisible, like they don't have a voice, and are frustrated by the system, which often gives conflicting information. These are some of the main reasons, says Sanders, she thinks so many foster parents burn out, and why other potential families might be hesitant to open their homes. For the Legislature Today, I'm Roxy Todd.